Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Smith of Smiths in the Black, and if it's Monday, it's the Strat Power Hour, and this, especially if you're new, this is where we get everything done. As you know, I can't teach during the day, although I somewhat do. But here's where we get everything done, and so for newer folks, older folks alike, if you can't make it, you can always email your questions in, and that way everybody gets to hear it, and you get your questions answered, and all that kind of good stuff. So. That said, I start off. We only have one question on the emails today. So if you have questions, start typing them in. All right, so let's get to this one. Well, let's take a look first, see what we got here while you guys think it over. So we had a heck of a nice move in those energies today, per the weekend vid. And so one of the things that you want to focus on, just to start off, is when you see a high concentration of signals in one sector, like we did over the weekend in the energies, that probably tells you want to go there because it's a simultaneous break, and everybody was going. You got FANG, all these things that we knew about from the previous vids, and so it's FANG with the 322 and the XCC and the LPI and all that good stuff, COG, CPE, all that kind of good stuff that we've known about and still has some magnitude on it. And that's if they come out gangbusters on a Monday. That was real nice. So I've already put out the nightly vid, and so just touching on that for a second is that we want to focus on this SPY. How do we get out of this inside day? Because we had the Qs break down but come back for potential rev strat up, and the diamonds go up but come back down for potential rev strat downside. So that's why that SPY is going to be so important tomorrow. So let's get to questions. In the time report Friday, you displayed Deckers to be short on the 15-minute open, then cover when it makes a new high. When it's time to cover, can we flip, meaning cover go long at the same time and trade it both ways? Yes. If you made money on the downside, you're getting out because of a reversal, right? And if you have a reversal, you can go back the other way. Let's say here's on the 30. Let's say you got entered on the 15, but you're going to give a little more room on the 30. Deckers right here, the 2 down, 2-2 reversal. Yep, you can take that because you're playing with house money, right? It's not necessarily something you'd want to open a position on, but you can certainly reverse back because you have a reversal against you, or you can wait for the 60. Because when you have something moving this much, even a retracement like this might be fine, you know? And so then here, you can go short again, 2-2 reversal on the 30 back down, then 2-1-2 back up, then 2-1-2 back down. You know, it depends on how nimble you are. But yeah, definitely you can do that because you're getting out because of a reversal and you're playing with house money. Okay, I also want to set up trigger happens and we expect it to go right away, but it doesn't and pauses and goes back down. Do we give up and get out? It depends on how much more information you have, right? Is how much room you can do. Do you still have full time frame continuity? Are you in conflict? Are you in exhaustion risk? Where are you when that happens? I prefer just to get out and try and look for another setup and get back in myself. I don't like messing around, but that's me. But over time, certain people, you know, you see the repetitive nature of this over and over and over again, right? And so some people will say, I can give it some room because I know where it's going. It's going up there. I'm like, okay. I've seen this one a million times. I'm like, okay, I can stomach the micro tries. I'm not going to, because I've got all this other things going for me. Like, let's say, like the energies when they're going, it's like simultaneous break, right? That's a higher probability. They're buying everything that's got a drop of oil in it, right? So how much information we have matters. Okay. Next question. When you say it will hit magnitude without a reversal against you, does that mean a reversal on the same time frame or any time frame? Any time frame. So it depends on, you know, where you got in, first of all, right? And saying, okay, so some people would never have touched this on the long side and say, like, I'm just going to wait for those short setups. Boom. You know, I'm just going to set short, 2 goes 3, boom, back down, 2-2. Staying on the time frame continuity of the downside. And so that's where it gets back to what it's just asking me. It's like saying, okay, I got in, and maybe you have a 5-minute reversal against you, but you've got full time frame continuity, everything else is going your way, and you still have some magnitude in it. Then you can use those to look for places to add. So you're looking at those as corrective activity, but not a reversal, not a full blown reversal, because it's not reversing on the 60 or the 30, but you got something on the 5 that tells you can look to add there. So this might have been a little quick, but we'll see how that parabolics looks, and that's where you can sometimes use your parabolics. This is probably still working its way down, but yeah. So let's see if I go to a 15er, what does that look like? Okay, so with full time from counting the downside, when this flipped back into the buy side here, this tells me I could start looking for reversals back down because this thing's just totally hurting. To get your 2-2 reversal here, boom, down she goes. Boom, down she goes, right? And then it came up and triggered this, and this tells you, uh-oh, now I'm going to be looking for another reversal to the downside. 2 goes 3, boom. Just missed that one, but especially when things are moving right along, like in a 5-minute when something's really cruising. Sometimes the parabolic can help identify where you want to look for a reversal, so you know somebody got triangled out, because they always do. As a newbie, where was it just a stop goes? Usually I tell you 1 cent. This thing should just go. I'm swinging for the fences, and so what you can do is, like when you're trading the 30-60 gappers, something like that, you can use, like, if you're long, going off the low of the candle that breaks and triggers, right? So once it triggers, it just goes, and then you can move it up even when it goes, and then depending on how much information you have, you can move it up on the 15, 30, 60. Okay. That makes sense? And also, if you're not sure, you can check with me. You can always check with me. Say, Rob, what's going on here? And that's one of the advantages that we have is you heard me talk about that in the webinar over the weekend, and that trading should be a two-person job. Keep your mind clean. I'll take care of it. You just tell me what you're doing, and I can look at everything for you. So here, I'm the eyes. Like, here's all the other things and pieces, parts that's going on that's involved in this thing. Yeah, I can go through the trades you made. Well, let's get to. I entered cat on the 30 today. Cat on the 30. Okay, cat kind of came gunning out of here. All right. Okay. It's meant to be swing, so I'm still holding. However, I was unsure if what it did after my entry was just a triangle out or should have gotten out. The swing is based on the 2-2 reversal week. Okay. So you got it as soon as it broke the week. That's good. Right? That's pretty much the low of the day. Or if you got it right into here. That's good. Then you can let these guys meander all they want. Right? But as long as you're at a profit, that's good. We just, we're going to have some more information coming here. As I just pointed out with the Dow and SPY, that's all undecided stuff. And then the question is going to be strong enough on the month to come up here and set up the 2-2 monther. Got some distance on that. But you do have your 2-2 weaker if they're going to bring it back up. Make sense? And Peter, the color of which candle now? Does the color of which candle matter? Mm-hmm. Get cat. You can always watch this with deer. lesser extent today, and AGCO was in trouble before, but now trying to come back too. So, like I said, it's a Monday. We'll see if they follow through. You break even? Okay, so you got in a little tardy to the party, but and Peter's still trying to find out what you mean by does the color of the candle matter? Usually it matters to whether you've had corrective activity or how close you are to the next two. AMD. Like I said, you probably want to be staying on 30s and 60s, not 5ers. All right. So AMD 1-bar Rev Stratter. This was nice. The 2-1-2 reversal off the 30 before the chop shop. And 5er, there you go. And so the 1230. So the 2 down, 2 up, and then get stopped out. There's your nice 5er right there. That's a nice one. This ain't so bad. But a little grindy. And once it goes 3, we don't know. But you did get that 2 week. It's setting up the hammer counter shooter month. That's good. Okay. And here's the good one. There's the good one. Triangle the out. That's why we get out. Boom. Look out. And then here. But this is the 30. Here's where you wanted it. Right there on the 30. Boom. And I'll tell you why. See this? This is the daily and weekly and 60 opening. When you took that out, you changed everything. Triangle the out, and then boom. That's where you really wanted it. Then you could have got it here. 2 down, 2 up. 2 down, 2 up. 2 down, 2 up. It would have stopped you out on this thing. List of stock in each sector. I don't have one handy, but just by watching the weekend vids, I go through everything. And that's why I'll always talk about the fangers with the techs, and I pretty much break it down. So if you continue to watch the weekend vids, you get to know more of that. Or if you go to Yahoo Finance, you can type in ETF symbols, and then it'll tell you the top 10 holdings in there. If you have the course, I have a video on that. Like XLK, for instance. This is 40% Microsoft and Apple. That's something you'd want to know about. Right? So you can watch Microsoft and Apple if you're watching the XLK. Uh, 212 on the weekly. Yeah, as soon as it breaks that week, as soon as it goes 2, 1, and then as soon as it goes 2, you can take it right there. Or you can look for shorter term setups that if they make magnitude would trigger that. That's how we use people against each other. We're using participants against each other. Guinea pigs. So you could say I have it's close to 212 on the week, but it hasn't triggered yet, right? But I have a 2-2 reversal on the 60. And if that works, it's going to trigger that weekly. You can take that. Because that way we let the other guys trigger the weekly group to see if it works or not. You could also add on that. But no, you go first. No, you go first. Right? Make sense? Hoping to trigger hourlies. It got a little grindy, and that's why it's a Monday. That's usually why we do less on a Monday. I want to see what's going on here. And it wasn't simultaneous. It wasn't all the semis turning around either. It was pretty much just AMD. But you did have your weekly signal. That was good. So if that rev strat works, it triggers these guys, which it did. Okay. And also, for newer folks especially, don't be wallflowers. Don't act like I'm too busy during the day to help you out. That's what I'm here for. Sometimes it sounds like I'm real busy and doing things. Don't be a wallflower. You need help. Also, if I say a stock symbol like 10 times, you probably want to take a look at it. Overstack. Get boy. Teslas. Okay. Had a question about observations. They typically have large red or green bars. Yes, they do. Should we be watching these over the course of the entire week? I often find that by one-ish, markets have recently been getting stuck. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can take a look at it. Is it triggering anything longer term? Or is it going into exhaustion risk? What is it doing? Right? Well, you can determine whether you're going to keep watching it. Just kind of like the gappers. You can check it out because, like on a Monday, like tomorrow, we want to see if those guys come back. If all these guys with the long red, green bars come back, are they still going to do that? And that's what I don't know because the SPY's not helping me at all. Right? We conflict in the broader averages, so I don't know. And that's when I pull back a little bit and be like, we need a little more information. Uncouple, and we're going to be exhausting this week, so that's why, when I've shown you a simultaneous break in the energy, that's pretty much where you wanted to be, even though they stalled out for a while. Traded more today than all last week? Yeah, no. Inside day for SPY? Nah, nope. And that's why sometimes I'll see things triggering, but I won't call it out. I'll pull back on you. Say, because I had some questions, some new people coming in, and there was like, he's like, do you call out stuff for everybody? And I was like, no, no. Everybody's different. Um, Different account sizes, different mental capacities. Not everybody can manage 10 positions, and not everybody can bounce around and get stops in fast enough, in fivers and stuff like that. And that's why 30s and 60s are plenty. Struggling to find the bigger moves. What are you missing? Telling me what you're doing. Communicato. I gotta know what you're doing. I can fix anything. I just gotta know what it is. Microsoft, yeah, it sounds like you're fighting some continuity there. Two down. Still inside week. Red on the month. Here you go. Wait for it. Triangle layout. Rev strat 30. Boom. Right there. Oh, they'll come. 30 and 60s on the gappers, they'll come. Especially get an earnings season and all that kind of stuff. So, Brock, sounds like you're fighting too much continuity. Because there's common mistakes people make when they're starting off, and one is ignoring the triangles, and 2 is ignoring time frame continuity. So there's usually just one pieces part that's usually missing for people. And FOMO. So take it easy and relax. Take it easy and relax. No hurry. Because as you can see that even one good day a week can make your whole week. Most people are just way too impatient, especially on Mondays, because I know when I started out, man, I'd be on the computer all weekend rifling through charts, coming in with my million best ideas on Monday morning. Just get stopped out, chopped up, and then by the time it actually does what I thought it was going to do, I'm too beat up to do anything. Well, the macro vid can't trigger just yet. That could be a problem because it hasn't closed out yet. We got 4 more days, 3 more days of that, so you can't set your alerts until Friday, Thursday afternoon, because we're still in the third quarter. Mission critical to ignore the quarter and the year? No, not at all. That's why you can trade something that's still an inside month because you can still have a huge range in a month. You just want to be aware of it. Is it a rule of thumb if the broader averages are not picking a direction or are inside, probably don't trade so much? Because I know SPY inside all day, and see even though the correlation. Well, what you wanted to do is the good thing about that, because you'll remember last week and last week this day, the big blaster day, that was actually one of the tougher trading days. It was just a grind up. The good thing about having them go inside like this, they show their hand. They guys can't hide behind the futures what they're doing. They were buying energy hand over fist. Now they did it pretty fast in the morning for the most part, but the good part of them going sideways is then we can see what type of sector rotation they got going on. So they were selling the towers, mirror tack, CCI, SBAC. They're selling them. They're selling them REITs, EXR. These are all in the vid. PSA. So that's why you're always hearing me talk about the simultaneous breaks. I want to see what they're doing, and I want to see a whole sector going in the same direction. All right? As opposed to trying to pick out what's my favorite stock. It's like, what are they doing? They are selling REITs, and they are buying oils. Right? They might stall out, like XLE or whatever, but it ain't reversing. that's what I'll tell you. That's not what it was not going to do today. It was going to reverse. Might just go up there and stall out, but it's not going to reverse. Ignoring the triangles? Well, just not identifying them, and just saying I'm just going to take every 2-1-2 setup that I see, as ignoring everything else where you are in the series. That's what I mean by that. Because when I first started, man, you had guys grabbing every inside bar, and I'm like, no, no, that's not how it works. All right? And yeah, triangle layouts, yeah, and not waiting for corrective activity, just constantly going directional. You want to have some corrective activity because that gives you more magnitude. You can go racing back to the highs. When I said triangle broadening formation, no, not stuck in the mother bar. Any broadening formation series. So here in XLE, you're gonna see this. All you're doing is creating an outside bar that's not being presented to you. So from here to here is an outside bar of all that, right? Which is not going to be presented to you here, but it is here. There's your outside week, last week. It was a little tough because you had the 2 down, 2 up, but red. That was a little tough. And then she took off. Then took the month. We knew that right here. It's a 2-1-2 reversal on the month. XLE over 50.62. And AMD daily. Been watching this one for a while here. Here she comes. Back through the try she goes. As it forms, so you can get chopped up if you get in it too early. And now it's a little bigger. See? Now you're going to get that 2-2 reversal on a week. That's good. Because if that works, it's setting up the 2-2 reversal on the month. So when you get stuck inside a mother bar, you might get a tight triangle there, yes. That's why we want to be aware of that, because price discovery might start over again and the triangle be too tight. Here you go, AMD, try the ad. Get, boy. Gets out of here, triangle expando. Triangle the out, boom. Okay, good. Okay. On the 30-minute Microsoft. Okay. Right here. Giant cursor says right here as soon as it takes this out. You could have taken it up too. That was a 2-1-2 reversal. If it was going to reverse back up, it would have been right here, but didn't do it. Out. Now sets up the rev strat. Boom. Down she goes. You could have added on this, but you got to keep it tight. It would have gotten stopped out, but because this is a continuation, but you're already playing with their money if you got the rev strat from here. RSI, corrective activity. You know, people will use all sorts of things. I would say no. You can see if it helps you, but what you're looking for is a reversal against the direction we're looking to go, and then another reversal back in our direction. Okay, good, Pete. That's what I mean by triangle layout. Or when we go outside bar, that means everybody's gone. They're all gone. Everybody. But as far as a strong trend, we don't find something that gets corrective activity against us and then gives us our reversal back in the desired direction. And that's why, also for newer folks especially, that I will say, that you'll hear me say, I'd rather have you be a one-trick pony. Like, this is all I do. Too many people try and master all the aspects of the strat, and you don't have to do that. You can always branch out, but trading like that's why I did the example in the webinar. I just stick on me 3-2-2 monthers. That's all I do, and that's my watch list. Don't care about anything else. And then when you have a high concentration in the energy sector, then I can branch out and I'll say, okay, I got my FANG energy going, right? We got my 3-2-2 fanger because I'm a 3-2-2 guy, right? Extra my XCC and my Conocos. But now that I know it's a simultaneous break, then I can branch out and go, okay, well, I'm also willing to take the 2-2 reversal on the monthly EOG. Because if you just focus on one condition, you get to know that condition really well. And 2-2s happen all the time. That's one thing Dan said when he first started programming TrendSpider. He's like, these 2-2 reversals happen all the time. I'm like, yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Hey, Walter, you can enter in a 3-2. It's just got to go. You cannot mess around with that because at that point you're risking a 3-3. getting murdered, right? So it just has to go. That's all. So that's a real tight stopper. That should just go. Because whatever that 3 was is rejecting that other side. It needs to keep rejecting that other side. Like nobody's business. Like the SPY monthly. Pandemia, boom. Puke. It's got to just go. And it got chopped up today trying something different. Last week I just did 2-1-2s. There you go. That's it. 2-1-2's my wheelhouse. If the hour, daily, and weekly are 2 up and green, the monthly is 2 up and red, is that still full time from county to the, no, it's not. Your scenarios are lined up, but time from continuity's got to be above the opening. So what you're describing is it gapped up on the first or something, right? Gapped up on the first and it puked, and now it's recovering, right? So that's still good. You still got scenarios going your way, and the hourly, daily, and weekly are overriding the monthly. So you don't have full time frame continuity, but you're overriding it. I mean, it was a gap down that was rallying back or whatever, right? That's what I meant. Because what that tells me there was some exhaustion risk, and that those sellers might have just dumped, and that was it, right? They hadn't, as far as I know, they didn't come back. They dumped what they had, and now the hourly, daily, and weekly are overriding it. I can't identify that seller. That's what continuity is all about, identifying the selling pressure. Are those guys still here? And so that's why, especially in the SPY, another important aspect of it when I say ignoring the triangles is that this is an outside month, right? And so some would say it's red, Rob. I'm like, that's true, but it did its job. It was going to stop these guys out and go 3. Then we don't know, all right? Because if they did it once, they might do it again, right? They sold up, they bought up, and then the 2-2 reversal on the week, boom, peak. Now coming back, potential 2-2 reversal back up, right, to give you the broadening formation, which gets bigger. So once you have a 3, that can't not be a 3. Therefore, they might go back and take it up again. And if they're going to do that, they would do it on override. 2-2 reversal week, you'd have an inside day to the upside. That would be overriding this. That make sense? Hey, no, Roku. Roku. Okay, Roku. So 2 down directional on the day to try and see if you can triangle these guys out. They got these guys. Wasn't weak enough for that, right? It's stuck in here. You are still 2 down on the month. Still stayed an inside week. So on the 30-minute rev straight down here, yeah, just wasn't weak enough to get out of the Mulder bar. All right. And you had the 2 back up into here, so you're still in this Mulder bar was going to be your issue. So at any sign of danger, you got to get out of this thing, right? We wanted this thing to just crater. Just you didn't have the market helping you out either. That cues were coming back, and here you can take that. It's just got to keep going. So you're just going to scratch it over this thing. I don't let it make it let it higher high, so get something out of it. But we want that thing to just tank. Ah, yes, the 2-2 opening. So if you're watching the 60 on the Roku here, here's your Mulder bar, and you got a Momo shooter in here that's inside. So if you took that down, then it puked down to here, but then couldn't get out of the Mulder bar. Then you get the 2-2 reversal up, and you caught this right here. 60 is a major signal. You can take that. Here you go. Where'd they go? They ain't here. They ain't here. They ain't here no more. They just dumped and ran away. Yep. Override. They're gone. They've got no more to sell. Walk into the pit. 500,000 to go on the opening. Have at it, boys. Walks out of the pit, never came back. And so you can see, like on this 60, it's like a lot cleaner. You know, you said, well, I'm not going to take this because it's red in the day and the week, and I'm like, it's still a Monday, and it couldn't get out of the mother bar. That's a good thing because what that means is this might be price discovery. Tried to go back up, then comes back down. Now, when you start coming up through here, we're going to take this out, and if you're lucky, you take out the mother bar, which you did, and you're nowhere near getting stopped out. And this is not like the best example of it, but another thing that we do is called do battle. If we have every reason to believe something's going to work and you get stopped out, go after it again when you get another setup. Right? A lot of people won't do that. They're like, oh, mine didn't work. I got to move on to the next one. I'm like, that's still good, man. You just got caught in a micro try. During the month and the week, though, yeah. So that's yeah. These guys, right? I'm not saying these guys. These guys could show up at any time, because and it's technically still a two down. So you got sellers in there. They just might have just dumped right here. Ugh. Gonna dump any more? We'll see. We'll see. How is this not green? Yeah, there you go. It sets up the ham bone here. Now you're setting up a 2-2 on a Tuesday. Uh-oh. Fix these. This is not right. There we go. Or the 3-1-2 weekly for to start off the monther. Because especially for newer folks too, you can hear me say this a lot too. It's like, what's the next two? What will that create negator do? Right? So we're always looking downfield. And I use this analogy almost every week. It's like playing pool. Right? If this shot works, I need to leave myself another shot. Right? So if my signal works, what's that going to do? Always using all the participation groups again each other. Here, there's a beaut right here. The 3-2-2. Boom. Yuck. Yes, sir. Right there. Bam. Starting the new month, and then bam. If this works, it's going to cause the 2-2 monther, which it did. It could be a 90 time frame, triangle the out. So ideally, like if something's really moving, it'd be on a shorter term stuff, right? We're just looking for that small correction so we can get in. You only focus on 3-2 down to the monthly? No. I'm just saying it did it. If this 2-2 3-2-2 it kicks in on the weekly, that's going to kick in your 2-2 reversal on the month. Playing pool. If this works, it's going to trigger that. Boom. Burning down the porch. Right? That's what we describe on the downside. Everybody who bought in here and here goes underwater right there. It's like sitting on a porch that's collapsing. And if that porch collapses, it's going to collapse these guys. Everybody who bought last month and here. Boom. That's where they all go underwater. But what I am saying is that you could do that and say I'm only going to do three outside three, two down, two up, or two up, two down on the month. I'm good with that. And then you get that Flava Flav. There you go. Boom. 3-2-2 to the downside. You have all the energies on the upside. right? I'm good with that. And there's not a lot on the monthly. You can go down to the weeklies. There's your watch list. And that's why, let's say, like COG or something, you know, that's when they're like, can you swing something? I'm like, you certainly can. Here was the 3-1-2 day in COG. You got this and you're not stopped out, you can stay in because you got these guys going. And then boom, and then boom. Nice move you got there. And it was a little slow, but we were getting confirmation from other oils. Other energies were going. And then they just kicked him today hard. Said, here we come. But I can't stress enough the importance of the simultaneous brakes. That tells us exactly what they're doing. Additional magnitude, but I'd like to take these guys out. Right here. 2267. Then you'd have this. Triangle the out. And triangle the out. Is there anybody short in here? Just get carried out. Oh, gone. Gone. You know those guys who look at something like this and say this is resistance? As if there's a bunch of sell orders there. Yeah, we know those guys. So anybody short in this thing, they're going to be short against that. That is if they look at monthly charts. Otherwise, they're already way gone through here. Boom. They just carried them all out. They're gone. Ooh. And if this works, look at this. The 2-1-2 weaker, right? If that works, ta-da, boom. If you're on the 15er, can I add if 30 triggers and then again with an actual signal? Oh, yes, you can. Yes, indeedy. Urge. Well, you're going to be an inside month, looks like. Still disseminating this gap, so you got a little bit of an issue up in here. So gap's up. Now you might have some price discovery because now you got an outside day. So a little bit messy here. It's disseminating this gap is what's going on. How are you going to get out of there? So it didn't quite take out the low, so it might be compound 3 of this thing tomorrow. So you got your slight higher high. This is what I know as of right now. And it's a little tight. What's up, man? AMD was good. There you go. And PPG, well, you're running out of months is the problem here. So PPG, yeah, you could take that 2-2 to reversal tomorrow, reconfirming the month and downer. Yep, and potential 3 weaker, coming back to the previous range. Yeah, you could take that. You bet your bippy. Like I said, there's a lot of ifs, ands, or buts of what these broader averages are going to do. Overstock's still good, baby. 3-2-2. That's still good. Just running out of months, so it's going to be a compound 3, but that's okay. Another month of fun. Get, boy. That was nice, too. I think that broke like right at the strat time report, too, last week. Boom. 75.51. And hopefully everybody got a chance to watch our webinar last weekend. Thought that was pretty good. Because I really drove home the staying on one pattern. I mean, properly traded, the stocks that I showed you can make your whole year compared to what other people are doing. Overstock, as far as I know right now, we're going to take this baby out. 102.75. But we got lots of acreage before we do that, so a lot can happen. Okay, great. Mm-hmm. And all of it we've talked about. Just, there's no Monday morning quarterback here. All that stuff is in the vids. If anybody wants to go digging around. And that's why, let's say that you got the initial breakdown in here, you can just let it go. Right? Like you say, when people have day jobs or whatever, if you got that, you're still good. Right? If you want to walk it up the daily for some of it to make sure you're okay, good with that. Then you can look to re-enter. Or you can just keep rolling and be like, it's up again. And just go off the low of the week and march. Because another problem that people have is they're getting out when they don't have to get out. Right? One thing you'll always hear me say, make them take you out. I don't care if it's a 1 cent stop all the way up. Don't hand them the stock. They got to get out. You don't. That's the good part. That's why we would like to. The continuity also helps us trade against people in losing positions. Anybody on the other side's getting steamrolled. We like that. People tend to not think as clearly when they're in a losing position. You know that guy? It's a little more jumpy, a little more agitated. That's who I want on the other side of my trade. Loser. Loser. Because a loser has to do something. We don't. What are you going to do? You going to buy some more? You going to get out of some? You going to get out of all of it? You got to do something. Are you going to ignore it and make it even worse? JS Twitter handle at Jesse Smollett. Also, what I'm quite proud of, if you pull up the percentage gainers from today in the S&P 500, COG was number one. That was in the webinar and the video. And number two was Oxy. That was in the weekend vid, the 322. And number three was Fang. Boom. You know how many people can do that? Not many. Not many. Can come in on Saturday and tell you the top three performers in the S&P 500. And CPE is not in the S&P 500, and it was up more than all of those. And so was LPI. It was up on a percentage more than both of those guys. So not only did we do that, we beat it. so two stocks that were beat every stock in the S&P, and then the top three in the S&P. Did we know about that? We did. Yep. Nice shooting, Tex. That's. Mm-hmm. And that's the importance of driving home the simultaneous break. You guys got any oil? Yes. Buy. Buy. You guys got some oil? Buy. Buy me everything that's got a drop of Earl. And I think I said it last week, and I say it every week. That's why I'm always saying, what are they doing? Right? They are buying everything that has oil. And yeah, it was a little fast in the opening, Brad, I understand that. But it still happened, and it's a continuation. This is nothing new. This is nothing we didn't know about, right? We know about this for a while. And just make sure that macro's got to close out, right? Those signals got to close out. We still have 3 days on those before they close out. But I had to do it, or I had to either do it Thursday night or over the weekend, and I'm not staying here Thursday night to do it. So, Texas Tea Earl, they're buying it all, and that's another reason we like the LPI because the gigantic try, and so that's another reason you're going to get stopped out when you have tries that are too tight. Because you might look at this and be like, "No way, is it going all the way up there?" I'm like, hold my beer, watch this. Mm-hmm. And that's why I say if you got it cheaper, look at this. Here you go. The 2-2 reversal on the weekly. Any lower low? No. Still good? Still good. Monthly 3-2-2? Yep. Still good. Marching her up. Where's it going? Up here. See, then if you can just ignore the noise in here, like this 3 here and stuff like that. Ooh, what's this? The 2-1-2 day. If that works, there you go. 2-2, 3-2-2. That's what I mean about playing pool. If this one works, what's that going to do? Yeah, PSR, you could walk that. That wouldn't stop anybody out. And then once you got that acreage up in here, then you just go walking on the lows of the week if you like. I don't know what the options are like in this thing, but then once you got some juice in them here, then you go in them upper strikers that are like no preem, no premium with their money. Strat trading lists. That's right. And I don't even care if you just do 3-2-2s on the 60s, and that's all you do. You just get that scan, get trend spider or whatever, and that's all you're looking for all day long. That's all. I just crank them out. Just crank them. That's all I do. And then I can come in handy to tell you what's going on around it, right? So that's why oftentimes you'll hear me say when I pull up a chart, I'll say what's going on over here. That keeps me out of the vortex. Something might look like it's moving, then I pull it up on all the time frames and not doing anything. That's definitely a phenomenon, getting caught up in the shorter term charts. Well, it's always recorded, even if I mess up the recording. But yes, I was pretty darn proud of that S&P top 3 and 2 better than that. And most guys will go through their whole career and never even come close to doing that. The good thing is now we all can do it because you know what a simultaneous break is on monthlies. That's what we like. We like it on a monthly. It's good all month. It's like we're kind of bumming that this month is ending. It all started with XEC. Boom. It was the first. It led us out to the promised land. Yes, it's still good. There's no reversal against you, and there's a lot more magnitude. So these guys, like XEC hit magnitude, Conoco hit magnitude. Fang hasn't done it, nor LPI. So they could still go. And compound. So we call that the compound 3. Just ran out of time. Would have done it, just running out of time. So next month we're going to see if we go boop. And then we're going to see if it, per the macro vid, if that sets up the rev strat year for these guys, or they stay inside year for next year. You just got to wait for them to come around on the guitar. No, you take it on the 2-2 reversal. Here. Right here. Now you can start looking at it in here, like I said, on those shorter term time frames, if that's going to give you anything, like here, inside weaker. Boom. You can take it there. But yeah, you want to know when you're back inside of an old 3 for sure, because that sets up a 3-2-2. And then, but technically you want to take it when it gives you the actual reversal, the 2 down, the 2 up right here. But like I said, all those combinations. Compound 3s. And then yell at it and say, keep going. Because we like that. And so, yeah, if I got to drive home some stuff over and over again, I will do it. No, that is corrective activity. It was doing down. Now you're reversing. Yeah, you can take it right there as soon as it does it. Yep. Boom. And then in the monthly, you've got all the other time frames to look for some corrective activity, yes. But you can take that monthly break as soon as it goes. Oh, yeah. And as I just said, it helps if you got some friends. Like everybody else. All the other Earls. Because you got a heat map of how many oils are 2 up on the month. Pretty much everybody. All right. And that's how, I make some scanning videos. Sometimes I'll do that during the strat time to show you an example. Let's see. If I do that for the daily today, what does that look like? Well, let's do it on a monthly scan over here. I'm not going to pull it up for you, but I'll read it for you. Who is taking out last month's highs? Scan. Bank of America, CCO, we know. SWN, RIG, MRO, Oxy, APA, EQT, Conoco, Slob, Halliburton, getting the idea? MTC. And so that's when you're scanning, that's partially what's going on in my mind. So that's a big part of what's going on in my mind. Well, it depends on your exit. It depends on, are you into exhaustion risk? Do you have a simultaneous break? But no, you don't have to necessarily use the same time frame. No, you can get in on a fiver, and then if it starts going, you can just walk it up the bottom of the 30s if it's still good and has magnitude. Mother bar? No, we took it out. Now, granted, if this was a 2 month chart, yes, but you have a reversal in here, and you got a 3. You got a broadening formation, you got an attempt to expand it, and you got a failure to do so. And if they tested both sides of the range, they might do it again. They're willing to pay up and they're willing to sell down, they might be willing to pay up again. So that's the importance there. You got E3. Once a 3, always a 3 can't not be. And they're called broadening formations because they broaden. That's the good part. You thought you were getting killed before. Well, on that note, we're just into an hour. I'd like to keep it in an hour so we can you don't have to watch 4 hours of stuff. So we do this every Monday for newer folks, and if you can't make it, once again, you can send me an email and we'll get to it. So welcome new folks. I think it was another good session. If I got to drive home the same points every Monday, I will do that. Some people say, yep, beat me over the head, the same thing. I'm like, okay, do that, and you will be happy. So on that note, I'm going to go home, and I will see you all bright and early in the morning. All right, good night.